How about a fun rainy day project? This is called cold porcelain. It's made with glue, baby oil, and cornstarch. You're going to heat this over the stove until it gets to be about the consistency of cottage cheese. And then you're going to take it off the stove, let it cool, and grab a friend. And you're going to squeeze it and mold it and talk into a camera for about 20 minutes. So stick a movie on and sit down and watch it. Now, before you mold it or before you start squeezing it, grab some hand lotion. Put that on your hands and then go ahead and de-stress. Now, after that, you're going to talk into a camera some more, but decide on a voiceover later. So you've stuck it in the refrigerator for a day or so in a wet paper towel, and you just let it set up. After that, you stick it in a little plastic baggie, and you can make what's called a push mold. Now I've grabbed this fairy and I pulled it off the wall, and I took some of that cold porcelain and pressed it around the fairy's face nice and gently. Now, if I put it all over her face and all around her, I won't be able to get it off. But can you guys see that there's a negative now? There's a little fairy face right there. It's really cool. You're going to have to let it dry probably for 24 to 48 hours. And through the magic of video, it's 48 hours later. The push mold is not only created and dry, but I've also, from this beautiful fairy, created and dried the actual positive mold, the face. See, pretty cool, right? So how did I do that? I pinched off a little piece and I squeezed a little point onto it. That will be for the nose, because the nose goes in so far, it might have challenges getting into that little tiny area. And then I press it, and I don't press it too terribly hard. I press it hard enough to actually create this positive of the push mold. And there's a little face. Ta-da! Alrighty, we're gonna do this little project. And I have my cat assistant in here, and I have my push mold face. So what I did is I took the push mold face and I pressed it into some extra cold porcelain, and I made a bust. I used the fairy that hangs on the wall and the face that I had created from the push mold for inspiration, and pressed it into the cold porcelain, and then did a little bit of modeling around that. There you go. That's all cool, Carla. Yeah, but I want to do something super fast and super easy. Okay, let's make a rose. So you're going to grab some of that cold porcelain and you're going to pinch it and pull it until you've got it really super thin. Once it's really super thin, you're going to take a plastic flower with veins on it, and you're going to press that cold porcelain into a petal of the plastic flower. Press it hard enough so that it gets the indentations of the veins, and then you're going to pull off the excess and make a petal shape. Now, you're going to pull that gently and carefully off of the plastic flower, not silk, plastic, and you'll have the little veins. Once you've done that and made different petal shapes and sizes, put them all together, and maybe even grab that cute little face that you made earlier, you know, the one from this, and put it in the center and make a rose petal flower fairy. I'm going to show you one more super cool way to use cold porcelain. First, ignore the fact that I was originally talking into the phone and decided to do a voiceover because it just didn't sound right. I know my mouth doesn't match, but when you take your cold porcelain out of the refrigerator, it might be a little wet, so you'll knead in some cornstarch. This is what I'm doing. You see this cool chess piece thing? It's missing some of the pieces because my cats run off with them all the time. So I'm going to do a push mold for those pieces that are missing. So for instance, here is the pawn, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it into the front side of my pawn, and then a little bit on the back side, so I have two pieces that I can use to create my push mold. And then I've got a really cool new pawn that looks like this.